A commoner named Ray White enrolls at the Arnold Academy of Sorcery, where he faces hostility from the noble students, especially from noble Albert Olim. Despite this, Ray strikes up a friendship with Amelia Rose, one of the highest-ranking nobility students at the academy. Ray experiences flashbacks of a devastating war from his past. As Ray continues his studies, he learns about the 7 grand sorcerers. Among them, 4 are shrouded in anonymity, while Academy Principal Abby Garnett, famous researcher Carol Caroline, and the Iceblade Sorcerer, who disappeared after ending the Far East War, are known. Ray faces difficulties in grasping the fundamentals of magic, leading his bullies to mockingly call him Withered Wizard. During his time at the academy, Ray also encounters various classmates, including Elisa Griffith, a half-elven girl, Evie Armstrong, his fitness-focused roommate, Rebecca Bradley, another high-ranking noble student, and the hyperactive minor noble Clarice Cleveland. In a surprising turn of events, Ray discovers that Principal Abby was his former military commander during the Far East War. In a duel practice, Albert attempts to best Ray, but Ray reveals his exceptional swordsmanship skills, humiliating Albert. It is during this confrontation that Abby discloses Ray's true identity as the missing Iceblade Sorcerer. In his pursuit of youthful adventures, Ray becomes a member of the Environmental Research Club, a group of fitness enthusiasts who thrive on training in perilous environments. This move reveals Ray's possession of a gold-class hunter license. Additionally, he joins forces with Rebecca in the gardening club, although he faces the challenge of convincing the club secretary, Dina, by transforming a weed-infested field into a blooming flower garden. Despite Dina's initial reluctance, Ray successfully accomplishes this task. Encouraged by Rebecca, Ray contemplates entering the Magic Chevalier tournament. Abby, the academy principal, alerts Ray to the presence of an Imperial spy within the institution, necessitating immediate action to neutralize the threat. Ray's growing friendship with Clarice comes as a pleasant surprise to her. Students are assigned to complete a forest skills course in teams of 4, which prompts Ray to form a team with Evie, Elisa, and Amelia, much to Albert's displeasure. The objective is to endure a monster-infested forest for 24 hours while collecting stamps from specific locations. Thanks to Ray's farming background, their team successfully passes the challenge with time to spare. As Ray reflects on his wartime experiences, he grapples with guilt for enjoying his new life while concealing his true identity. A pivotal moment arises when Ray comes to the aid of Albert's team, rescuing them from a colossal monster. Amelia is astounded by Ray's ability to defeat the monster single-handedly. However, a cover spy intervenes by enchanting the monster, reviving it with even greater strength than before. Despite the formidable strength of the monster, Ray manages to defeat it once again, leaving everyone impressed, except for the other nobles, notably Albert, who becomes even more infuriated. Ray pays a visit to his paraplegic mentor, Lydia. During their conversation, they delve into Lydia's research on engrams within the brain, which play a crucial role in enabling magic. Lydia also issues a warning about eugenics, a group of fanatics seeking power by surgically tampering with sorcerers' brains to steal their magic, a process that proves fatal. Lydia expresses satisfaction that Ray has formed new friendships, but is disappointed by his decision not to participate in the Magic Chevalier tournament against teams from other academies. Ray accompanies Elisa to the public library, where they engage in a discussion about Ainsworth, an early researcher of engrams who serves as Elisa's idol. During this conversation, Ray shares his fondness for romance novels penned by Luna Etel. Clarice chances upon them and is extended an invitation to join their gathering, ultimately becoming friends with Elisa. Later, after the girls depart, Ray encounters Amelia, who takes him shopping for clothes. A brief scare involving a spider causes Amelia to inadvertently reveal herself to Ray in her underwear, but she realizes that it doesn't bother her as much as she thought it would. Subsequently, Ray crosses paths with Miss Gray, an instructor at the academy and a former student of Ray's from his days as the Iceblade Sorcerer. She is determined to assist Ray in relearning the abilities he had lost. Meanwhile, Albert embarks on rigorous training in his quest to defeat Ray, all the while being observed by the spy who had lurked in the forest. Ray accidentally glimpses Rebecca wearing bunny rabbit panties. Despite her embarrassment, Rebecca doesn't react with anger, recognizing that Ray is the only person unswayed by her noble status. As the upcoming tournament approaches, Amelia is the favored contender to win. She decides to challenge Ray to a duel, during which he nearly secures an easy victory, but something prevents him from landing the decisive blow, leaving Amelia puzzled. Albert insists on a duel, this time with real swords and the use of magic allowed. With the spy observing their confrontation, Albert attempts to eliminate Ray to assert the superiority of nobles. However, Ray demonstrates his ability to cut through magic, rendering Albert powerless. Amelia presses Ray to disclose his true identity, but before he can reveal the secret to his friends, the spy paralyzes everyone, unveiling herself as Miss Gray. Miss Gray confesses her affiliation with eugenics, a group responsible for the disappearance of several students. She now covets the potent engram located within Ray's unique brain. With his friends' lives hanging in the balance, Ray is compelled to unlock a sealing spell, thereby restoring his powers as the Iceblade Sorcerer, ultimately defeating Miss Gray. Despite Miss Gray's attempt to recruit him into eugenics, Ray declines. Refusing to be captured alive, she implants a eugenics scientific device into her own brain, transforming herself into a monstrous entity. Ray unveils that the true power of the Iceblade Sorcerer lies in anti-material magic, which has the capability to convert any form of magic into another, with Ray's specialization being ice. Consequently, Miss Gray becomes encased in solid ice and Ray loses consciousness. In a flashback, it is revealed that Ray, a war orphan, was taken under the wing of the previous Iceblade Sorcerer, Lydia Ainsworth. Under Lydia's tutelage, Ray acquired mastery over ice magic and actively participated in the Far East War. However, he eventually suffered from a debilitating PTSD breakdown. Ray regains consciousness in a hospital room, where he is greeted by Lydia, who assures him of his friend's well-being. Faced with the knowledge that his friends are aware of his past, Ray provides them with a comprehensive explanation. He recounts how, in his last battle, he experienced an overheat, a loss of control over the engram in his brain. This uncontrollable surge of ice magic resulted in an explosion that ended the Far East War, but also left Lydia confined to a wheelchair. To prevent another overheat incident, Ray relies on Chronos Lock, a spell that restricts his use of magic. His friends remain steadfast in their support, insisting that Ray's revelation changes nothing in their perspective of him. Albert takes the opportunity to apologize to Ray for his previous actions, having come to realize that nobility pales in comparison to the value of earnest effort and self-improvement. To Ray's considerable dismay, Miss Gray is replaced by Grand Sorcerer Caroline, who had served as his superior during the war and had played a nurturing role in raising him, akin to an overly doting aunt. Amelia grapples with a sense of guilt regarding Ray, who endured a challenging childhood unlike her own. Meanwhile, Ray voices his frustration about dealing with Carol, describing her as extremely difficult. However, Abby pays little heed to Ray's complaints as Carol's presence serves to safeguard the Academy's interests. It becomes evident to Ray that Amelia is not eagerly anticipating the upcoming tournament. He learns from Rebecca that Amelia faces the pressure of upholding her family's esteemed reputation as the top-ranked noble family by defeating Ariane Algren, the daughter of the second-ranked family from Diam Academy. Amelia and Ariane shared a childhood friendship, but Amelia's envy of Ariane's talent strained their relationship, leaving Amelia burdened with guilt. Ray extends an offer to teach Amelia a method he dubs Ainsworth's boot camp, drawing from Lydia's teachings. Unfortunately, Amelia discovers that boot camp involves strenuous physical exercises devoid of any magic, all while enduring Ray's harsh words and insults. Albert, who struggles with self-confidence, receives reassurance from Ray that his newfound commitment to self-improvement will lead to greater strength. Amelia makes an attempt to escape boot camp, but is firmly brought back by Ray. Her flustered reaction is evident as Ray takes her hand and leads her back to the training. Ray recruits the muscle-bound members of the Environmental Research Club to act as cheerleaders for Amelia, boosting her morale. In a daring move, Ray disguises himself as a girl to infiltrate Diam Academy and meet with Ariane, only to encounter a lost little girl who bears a striking resemblance to Ariane. Ray, who goes by the name Lily, brings the lost young girl, later revealed as Ariane's sister Tiana, to meet Ariane. During this encounter, he discloses his identity and mentions his friendship with Amelia. Ariane, missing Amelia greatly, eagerly anticipates their reunion at the tournament. Ray, still disguised as Lily, returns home and encounters Maria, Rebecca's younger sister, who is determined to attend the academy due to her affection for Lily. Ray introduces his friends to Lydia, who graciously offers her autograph to the star-struck Elisa before requesting a private conversation with Amelia. While talking to Lydia, Ray learns from her maid, Carla, that the Grim Reaper, an assassination squad from the Evil Empire, might infiltrate the tournament to target attending nobles. Lydia senses that Amelia is harboring a secret, causing Ray to worry about her. Lydia reassures Amelia that she can trust Ray with the truth. Ray proposes to Amelia that she can graduate from boot camp if she defeats him in a duel, although the outcome is not revealed. As the tournament commences, Amelia easily advances to the semi-finals. Albert showcases his exceptional skills and courage but ultimately loses to Ariane, setting up a finals match between Ariane and Amelia. Unbeknownst to Ray, a Grim Reaper assassin discreetly follows him. The assassin suddenly vanishes. During a covert meeting with Lydia, Carol, Abby, and the environmental research president Lex, Ray becomes aware of the Hale tribe, a group of Imperial intelligence gatherers. Lydia's maid, Carla, and Lex, who is Carla's younger brother, are both members of this tribe and have dealt with the assassin. Ray is tasked with preventing the assassination of noble students. Ray takes note of Lucas Forst, a formidable swordswoman from Arnold Academy. Amelia starts to distance herself from others until Ray pleads with her to confide in him about her secret. Amelia opens up about the pressure of upholding her family's noble standards and her feelings of inadequacy, which have led to thoughts of self-harm and a belief that she can never surpass Ariane. Ray reassures her that the support of friends is all she needs, revealing that Amelia did indeed graduate from boot camp by successfully defeating Ray's target. The following morning, while Amelia and Ariane begin their match, the Grim Reaper kidnaps Clarice and 8 other students. Ray traces them beneath the arena and deploys his Chronos lock, encasing the assassins in ice and rescuing everyone. In the arena, Amelia is repeatedly knocked down, but inspired by Ray's words, she develops a new spell called the Butterfly Effect, claiming that she is now too powerful for Ariane to even touch. As Ariane approaches Amelia, she experiences teleportation, being whisked away instantly. Carol verifies that the spell is an original one unique to Amelia's engram, manipulating causality so that wherever Ariane moves, Amelia redirects her to another location. Ray confirms the potential risk of Amelia overheating if she uses the spell excessively. In the end, Amelia emerges victorious in the match, leading to a tearful reconciliation between the two. Ray commends Amelia for her discovery of this original spell. In the following match, Rebecca competes against Lucas and falls short due to his remarkable speed. Lucas encounters Ray, who confirms that Lucas has inherited the title of Peerless Blade Sorcerer, just as Ray inherited the Iceblade. Lucas expresses his intention to challenge Ray once Ray has fully regained his former strength by resolving his overheat issue. Carol proceeds to interrogate the captured assassins, but they all resort to suicide using anti-interrogation devices implanted in their skulls. With the tournament concluded, the next event on the horizon is the cultural festival. At Amelia's insistence, Ray suggests that their class operates a maid cafe as Amelia is secretly passionate about the concept. Initially, this idea is met with resistance from the noble girls, who are indignant at the thought of role-playing as servants. However, they eventually agree after witnessing Carol modeling a daring maid outfit. News emerges that Rebecca has unexpectedly become engaged. High-ranking members of the eugenics organization set their sights on Rebecca as a potential vessel. Rebecca grapples with a magical affliction, affecting her eyes, causing them to bleed. A fellow student named Cornea manipulates the student council against Rebecca, exploiting the fact that Rebecca's fiancé, Evan Bernstein, was previously engaged to Cornea. Concerned about Evan's suspicious motives, Rebecca's friend Dina enlists Ray's help in investigating him. Lydia concurs that the engagement is peculiar and dispatches Carla to look into it. Lydia expresses dissatisfaction that Ray has become entangled in Amelia's maid fetish during the preparations for the maid cafe. Rebecca's eye condition persists, and she has recurring dreams of Ray from their time in the war. Her sister Maria questions her happiness in marrying Evan, but Rebecca insists that it is her duty. Anxious about her sister's well-being, Maria protests the engagement to their parents, but her concerns go unheeded. Ray eventually encounters Evan and becomes increasingly suspicious of him. Carla's investigation reveals that the Bernstein family has been absent for years, and their mansion stands deserted. She suspects that the current Evan is an imposter, a member of the eugenics organization known as the Sorcery Eye Collector, who is undoubtedly interested in acquiring Rebecca's unique eyes for his collection. Other members of the eugenics organization harbor hopes that Rebecca will awaken as the saint and open the door to Akasha. It is disclosed that Rebecca's father, Bruno, struck a deal with Evan, agreeing to marry Rebecca in exchange for supplanting the Rose family as the kingdom's highest-ranking noble family. Evan is enforcing this arrangement by threatening Maria. Rebecca continues to experience visions of Ray's past. In their shared dreams, Rebecca and Ray come together, causing Ray's eyes to also start bleeding. Rebecca nearly broaches the topic of the war with Ray but refrains. As the cultural festival gets underway, Ray assists at the maid cafe by assuming the disguise of Lily to work as a maid. Later on, Ray helps Rebecca enjoy the festival, almost prompting her to invite him to the end of festival fireworks, but ultimately not doing so. A mysterious woman forewarns Maria that Rebecca's demise is imminent. Ray receives a similar message from Lydia, who has a plan for him to rescue Rebecca at Bruno's discreet request. Evan kidnaps Rebecca to initiate her awakening, prompting Ray and Maria to follow in a bid to rescue her, while others engage in battles against the eugenics organization and their formidable creatures. In a flashback, Bruno reveals that their family is afflicted by a curse. Every few generations, a child is born as something known as a cruse, and unless she gains control over her eyes, she will not survive past her 20th birthday. The eugenics group has arrived for Rebecca's awakening. One of them, who reveals himself as Evan, is in fact Lieselot Eden, the fabrication sorcerer. She then transports Evan to another dimension as Ray arrives to confront Paratrago, the soul-devouring glutton. Simultaneously, Ray's friends are growing weary as the other monsters attack them, until Lydia, Carla, Abby, and Carol step in to rescue them and eliminate the remaining monsters. While Lise engages in battle with Evan in another dimension, the situation looks dire for Ray as Paratrago unleashes his full power in an attempt to end him. However, Ray taps into his ultimate power, Pandora, and successfully defeats Paratrago by encasing him in crimson ice. Following a dispute between the two sisters, Maria witnesses Rebecca experiencing an overheat. Ray regains consciousness and utilizes the Chronos lock to quell Rebecca's overheating, ultimately saving her life. Later that night, while waiting for Ray to watch some fireworks, Rebecca and Amelia decide to vie for Ray's affections. The following day, Ray pays a visit to the grave of Howard, one of his comrades, with his friends accompanying him. Just then, Ariane arrives to invite Ray to participate in the Magic's war, leaving him in a state of shock. In the post-credits scene, a young girl resembling Ray's sister patiently awaits his return.
I hope you liked the recap. If so, don't forget to subscribe and like it.